it's Kamori, and today I'm going to be doing a Otakon little recap and haul video. Otakon was the beginning of August, and it was super fun. It was the first time that Otakon was in Washington, D.C. It was in the Walter E. Washington Convention Center, and I think everyone was a little unsure about how it was going to go since it was the convention's first year in this new location, especially because they were instituting a more tight security policy. They were having only one entrance available. They were doing bag checks for anyone who came into the convention center who had a bag. And honestly, I think it went really well. There really wasn't too much of an issue going in and out of the convention center, and it was spacious. One of the reasons that Otakon had moved to this new location was because of the problems with overcrowding of previous years when the convention was still located in Baltimore. And I really didn't have any issue with the crowd. It was spacious, it was nice. Even though it rained a little bit, for the most part, the weather was still pretty cooperative, and I just had a great Otakon. My one complaint was that it was over way too quickly, but I definitely recommend, if anyone is considering going to Otakon next year, I definitely recommend checking it out. As you may have noticed in previous videos, I collect Nendroids. They're pretty much the only figure I collect, and you've probably seen in like vlogs and stuff like that how I have the little shelf of those guys up there. And my husband was the one that actually spotted her, but found little Yoko from Gurren Lagann, and I was honestly completely shocked that we found her. As you can kind of see from her stand, she doesn't stay up very well. She's one of an older model of Nendroid. She has more of a prototype type base, and most of the Nendroids that you see at conventions nowadays are like, because they're all numbered and they're like number 400 and higher. She's number 50. So I had pretty much given up hope on ever seeing her at a convention, and the fact that they had her and like at her original price was shocking. So she's like the highlight purchase of the convention. And also at the same booth, they also had little Homura in her magical girl outfit, and they even gave her the little soul gem on her hand. So she's also a really early Nendroid, so I'm surprised that we found her as well, but I'm super excited. So the two of them were it for the figure purchases. The majority of everything else that I ended up purchasing was cosplay related and things that would be useful for this channel. The next two things were also things that I never thought I would see in a convention dealer's room, and my friend very kindly got them for me as a belated birthday present. But also got 2 volumes of Gasudori. I've seen the Gothic and Lolita Bible in conventions before, like the Kinokuniya booth had it, but I've never seen any of the other Gothic and Lolita magazines at a con, so that was really exciting to see them in person. The last couple items came from the Artist Alley instead of the dealer's room, and in the Artist Alley, Cutso Pattern Making had a little booth, and you may recognize this pattern company because I did a couple videos for them back in February when I made Charlotte from Madoka Magica, and also did a review video of the pattern, but ended up getting a couple more of their patterns at Otakon. The first one is Taco from the Adventure Zone, and this is one of their limited edition patterns. My friend ended up getting this one. She got it and then said I could use it because she wants me to make her the taco costume. And the other two I ended up getting were the, I can't remember what they call it. Style 13, what's it called again? Fairyami. And it is a Sylveon Gajinka. I've had my eyes on this pattern for a while, so I figured while I was at the booth in person, I would buy this one. And another one of the patterns that I got is one of their newer patterns, and that is their, oh, I already cut all the pieces out, so that's why it's in the plastic baggie. But it is their Maid Cafe pattern, and I really want to use this to make the maid designs from Persona 5. So be making the Futaba version, of course, but it should be a tutorial that could be utilized for any of the maid outfits for that series because they all have the same basic design, they just use different pattern fabric. So that's it in terms of the actual haul portion of the video. That was actually a lot of stuff from the dealer's room for me. I usually end up not getting a whole bunch of stuff for the dealer's room, but it was just so huge and there was so many really awesome stuff there that it was fun to go poke around and see everything that they had. The other 3 highlights of Otakon would be that I got to host a panel. I hosted a panel on sewing with Japanese patterns. So thank you to everyone who stopped by and said hi and asked questions and just came and saw the panel. I hope you found it informative. And the other 2 things would be that I debuted my Quiltepus cosplay. I finished it in time for the convention and brought it along and was really happy with how it turned out. I did a photo shoot with Clouds Photography, and so far I've just seen the previews, but I'm super excited for how it turned out, and I will be posting those photos on my various social media, and also will be posting the full gallery on my website once I get those photos back. And speaking of Cruel, I entered her in the Haul Cosplay Contest, and she ended up taking home a honorable mention, which is pretty exciting because the Otakon Cosplay Contest is a really stiff competition, so even just getting honorable mention is still something that I'm really pleased about. And honestly, Otakon is one of my favorite cosplay contests to enter, not so much because of the awards, but because they have the option on on Sunday you can meet one-on-one with the judges and discuss your costume and talk about ways you can improve it, which is great for learning and really honing your craft, because a lot of times online you can't really get that kind of feedback. Really the only feedback you get on your costume from people that would be, you know, it's not constructive. You'll either have people who are like, hey, good job, and then the people who are actually critical of your costume are more likely to point out actual physical features than ways you can actually improve your craft, and it's just not necessarily done in a very open two-way street type setting. So that is probably my favorite part about entering the Otakon Haul Costume Contest, and is by far my favorite Haul Costume Contest, is because you have that option to get some feedback from your peers. So that's about it for Otakon. I had a great time. I hope everyone else who went to Otakon had a fantastic time. And for those of you who are still deciding whether or not you want to go to Otakon, I definitely recommend giving it a shot next time it's in town. It should be next summer in Washington, D.C. And I hope you found this video helpful. For more cosplay videos, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.